Hello, and welcome back to Bite-Sized Neo4j for Data Scientists. This is part 8 in our series, and today we're going to talk about how to populate a database from a JSON file. This is actually one of my favorite ways to populate a database for a small graph, just because it's so simple. My name is Claire Sullivan, and I'm a data science advocate at Neo4j, and here's how to reach out to me on the internet. So just as a reminder of some links, first link here is how to create a free sandbox instance on Neo4j. Second is all of the other videos within this series. And the third link here is to the series repository. Now, like I said, we're going to be using a JSON file for populating our graph, and I just happen to have one available at this repository. This is my Nodes 2021 workshop on creating knowledge graphs. And so if you go into this JSON files directory, we're going to use this wiki.json file. Now what this file is a graph that I created around Barack Obama as determined from Wikidata. We'll need to get this in its raw format. Let's take a look at what that raw format looks like. Okay, so I am going to look at the first line within that file. Okay, the file is divided into two halves. The first portion is just the node list. If you recall from previous videos, I said that it's very easy and convenient to have your node lists and your edge lists separated. In this case, they're all in one file, and the back half of that file is where the relationships are. Here is where the nodes are. I have something here called a node, and it has a label, and I had the very unique label of node, so I'm creating a whole bunch of nodes of label node. If you go watch the workshop video, you'll be able to see what we actually do with that. Now, my nodes have properties. For instance, I have a property of name, which I assign Barack Obama. I have an identifier, and then I have a type. Barack Obama is of type human. Now, let's say I look at the end of this, so we can look at our relationships here. Okay, here's what a relationship looks like. I can see I have a type of relationship. My relationship has a label that's called conflict, and then it has a start and an end. Okay, so that's the starting node and the ending node that it refers to by these identifiers. And then I can see that each of them are label of node. Okay, let's actually now get this into the graph. So I have a blank GDS instance here from a sandbox. And I'm going to bring in a command from APOC, which stands for the Awesome Procedures on Cypher. I'm going to let this run, and I'll talk you through it while it's running. APOC, they say that if you can't figure out how to do something in Cypher, then chances are there exists something within APOC to do it for you. And in this case, we're telling APOC to import the JSON file from the GitHub repo. The raw portion of the GitHub repo. And I can see here that it did that. I got 1,325 nodes, 1,635 edges. Let's just take a peek, make sure this looks like a graph. So we're going to match n, return n. That gives me all of my nodes, all of my relationships, limits it to 300 just because the visualization can get a little cumbersome. But I can see here that I have what looks like to be a pretty reasonable graph. Going back, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. And here's how you can find me on Twitter again. Everything that you see today, including the link to that Nodes Knowledge Graph workshop, will be within the repo for this video series. And if you would like to see something else within the series, please reach out to me on Twitter if you have questions that you'd like to see answered or a video that you'd like to see created. So again, thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. See you next week.